Today, we're diving into something I think we all feel, something based on the fascinating work of Tom Myers. And it's this big question: how do we actually thrive in a world that just seems to be moving way faster than we are? Okay, let me just ask you this straight up. Are you feeling overwhelmed? You know that feeling, right? Like you're just treading water, trying to keep up, while everything around you just gets faster and faster? Well, if you said yes, I want you to hear this loud and clear. You are not imagining it. It's not some personal failing or something you're doing wrong. It's a real shared experience. So many of us are feeling this exact same way. And you know what? This feeling, it's not just in your head. It actually points to something much, much deeper, a biological reality that scientists are really starting to get a handle on. So let's see if any of this rings a bell. Feeling just exhausted, stretched totally thin? Maybe like the ground is constantly shifting under your feet? Yeah, the pace of everything feels so much sharper now, and the expectations, way less forgiving. It's enough to knock even the strongest of us off balance. So the big question is why? Why are we all feeling this way? Well, the answer is pretty fascinating. It's hidden deep inside our own biology, which is this incredible, finely tuned machine. Just it's tuned for a completely different world. There's actually a name for this. Scientists call it the environmental mismatch hypothesis. And the idea is actually pretty simple, but whoa, is it profound. Think of it this way. Our bodies and our brains spent thousands and thousands of years evolving to fit one kind of world. But the world we live in now, it's changed so radically, so unbelievably fast, that our biology is basically left in the dust. It just hasn't had time to catch up. Here's a great way to wrap your head around this. Imagine all of history, all of it, squeezed into a single 24-hour day. Okay, so at midnight, life on Earth begins. Now fast forward through the whole day. Modern humans, people like us, we don't even appear until 11:59 p.m., 1 minute to go. And the Industrial Revolution, the thing that changed everything about how we live, that kicks off in the very last second before midnight. It's just a blip. So this is the fundamental clash right here. On one side, you've got our biology. It's built for a slow, steady, incremental pace. It loves predictable rhythms, clear signals. But on the other side, we've got technology's tempo. It's all about accelerating speed, constant change, information overload, and our attention being split into a million pieces. It's like we were born to waltz, but we're being forced to dance in a mosh pit. Now, our bodies are amazing at dealing with stress. We have these built-in buffering systems, right? When a challenge comes up, our whole system, brain, hormones, everything adjusts. It's like a shock absorber for life. But here's the thing. Even the best shock absorbers have their limits. When the hits just keep coming, nonstop, with no time to recover, those systems start to wear out. They start to falter. And this is where we hit a major wall. Once our personal coping skills are totally maxed out, the only tool nature has left is evolution, natural selection. But here's the problem. That takes thousands of years. The world we're dealing with, it changes in a decade, in a year, sometimes in a few months. Our biological solution is just moving at a snail's pace in a world of supersonic jets. It's way too slow. So, that leaves us with a pretty massive question, maybe the biggest question of our generation. If our biology can't keep up, what now? What are we supposed to do? All right, this is where things get really interesting. We're going to shift gears from just understanding the problem to actually looking at a solution, a really bold one. We're talking about a new kind of evolution, one that goes way beyond just letting nature take its course. And this is the central idea from Tom Myers. It goes like this. If that slow, passive, genetic evolution is just too late to the party, then we need a totally new game plan. We need to adapt consciously. We actually have to start evolving on purpose. And he even has a word for it, Evolopsis. It's this powerful idea that we, as humans, can and absolutely must start to guide our own evolution if we want to thrive. It's about stopping being just a passenger on this evolutionary ride and grabbing the controls to become the pilot. So what's the destination? What are we aiming for with all this? The goal is a state he calls eustasis. Just think of it as good balance. It's that sweet spot where our ancient biology and our crazy modern world are actually in sync. It's where we can be genuinely healthy, in body, mind, and spirit, even when everything around us is a blur. Okay, that sounds great, right? But how do we actually do that? How do we go about designing our future selves? Well, it all comes down to creating our own stability, our own anchor, in the middle of a storm of change. The key, according to Myers, is figuring out what he calls our DNA for the future. And no, we're not talking about literal DNA here. It's a metaphor for the core parts of who you are that don't change. Your deep down values, your core strengths. These are the things that do not alter. The idea is, once you know what those are, you can learn to use them in new and flexible ways, giving you an anchor no matter how wild the seas get. This quote from Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum just nails the spirit of this whole idea. For so long, we've been obsessed with imagining and designing the world around us, our cities, our technology. But now, it's time to turn that powerful focus inward. It's time to start designing ourselves. And look, this isn't just some personal weekend project. This needs to be a huge global conversation. We all need to start asking these big questions together. Like, what do we actually need to flourish? What kind of future do we even want to create for ourselves? And most importantly, how do we start doing it all on purpose? Because here's the most important takeaway. We are not powerless here. I know this whole evolutionary mismatch thing can sound pretty overwhelming, but the power to solve it is already inside us. The future really is ours to shape and create. We just have to do it together and on purpose. So I'll just leave you with this final big question to chew on. Forget about just trying to keep up. How can we actually learn to evolve as fast as our culture and technology are changing? Or maybe even get a little bit ahead of the curve? That right there, that's the great challenge, but also the incredible opportunity that we're facing today.